Hey guys, and welcome to a new series on my channel. As promised, I am starting up Agrarian Skies, and I'm just kind of running around getting familiar with the platform here. If you haven't seen any Agrarian Skies before, basically it's like my Surg Skyblocks, only a little bit different. It's got a lot of the same mods, so some things we've already covered before, but we have this nifty book here. With this nifty book, basically we have a whole bunch of quests that we can do. And more are constantly being added. You can see here there's a lot of quests, and each section here has quests in it. Like this one has 27 quests, For the Hoarding has 22, Go with the Flow has 15, so there's a lot of quests to do. And each quest will give us different reward. So, just like any Let's Play, in this case, well, we're on a Skyblock world. I think we should start by punching wood. Once the wood grows. Yay, we have a tree. So now I'm just going to punch it down. Now, one thing with this pack, and I am aware of it, and I guess I might as well grab it now. Right here, there is a dirt chest with a little bit extra dirt. So I'm just going to put this back and continue. You know what? Now that I have 2 pieces of wood here, let's go ahead and start with just some basics. First thing I'm going to want is a crafting table. I like the Tinker tables. And that's just because, you know, they store their inventory. If I put something in here and walk away, come back, it'll still be there. So let's go ahead and make a crook. Now, like I said, if you've seen my Surg Skyblock series, then you know a lot of this is going to be familiar. So I'm going to try not to do too much of the stuff that I've already done, but obviously, you know, some things I'm going to have to. And I think, oh, right off the bat, look at that. We can go ahead and claim that. So it at least gives us a little bit of food and whatnot to start. So I'm doing the learning to Skyblocks first, and that's just because it's a lot of quests, and it's going to get me started pretty easy. And then we're just going to need a whole bunch of stuff made out of wood. So I'm going to have to get some wood first. But what we can do is go ahead and use up this heart, and you can see here I have 3 lives remaining. So basically the way that this works is if I lose all my lives and I don't have any more, the game's over. It's like hardcore. So not something I want to do. Also, there's a couple of extra mods installed that give you skill levels and things like that for using tools. So that's something that I'm going to play around with a little bit later. Right now I'm just going to store the dirt. I'll keep the apple on me, but let's see what we get in this bag, which is a basic bag. Some angry dolls and creepy dolls. Those are part of Ex Nihilo, and we're not anywhere close to needing those just yet. So I'm going to go ahead and finish getting some more trees here, some more wood, and well, we'll come back a little bit later. So it's been a little bit of time, not too long. I was lucky enough to get a really big tree, and I've been using up just a little bit of my bone meal. I haven't even used half a stack yet, so I think I'm doing pretty good. I did get a couple of silkworms, and you can see here I've been making crooks just to make sure that I do get silkworms, and obviously getting more saplings and apples is nice too. So I'm going to let this one, because I infected it with a silkworm, I'm going to let this one go ahead and turn white. But in the meantime, I should have enough wood. So let's go ahead and pull out our quest book here. And let's see. So I need 1 chest, a part builder, a tool station, a stencil table, and a oak barrel. Well, it shouldn't be too hard. First off, let's get a couple sticks. And I'm going to need a couple of these blank patterns. And I think I'm going to need 4. And let's go ahead and make our chest. Let's see what else we needed. Part builder, tool station, stencil table. And I believe it's this way. So there's our part builder. There's our stencil table, and then we needed a tool station, which I believe is a crafting table. Tool station. We're also going to need a barrel, so let's go ahead and get one of those, and that should be it. So we should be able to go ahead and pick one, and I think I'd really like an axe, because I've been cutting down a lot of the wood by hand. Oh, it gave me apples too. Yeah, I've been really hurting as far as food. And we might as well throw down our chest somewhere. Let's go ahead and just put it... You know what? I don't want this right here. So I'm going to put down my chest right here. And I'll go ahead and throw some of this stuff that I don't really need right this moment in here. Let's see what we got. We have a basic reward bag and a golden Nixon. Golden Nixon. I guess it's a better cook? I don't know. So I think let's go ahead and look at the next quest. Obviously, we need string, so it's a good thing that I started that up. So fishing pole, wooden hammer, and a bed. Well, wooden hammer's not too hard. We can easily make that. And there we go, that's done. So the rest of the stuff, I just need some string. So I'm going to wait for this to finish. I've kind of run into a problem. I have stuff spawning, which I guess isn't necessarily a bad... Oh, no, creeper. Don't... Okay. It's not necessarily a bad thing because I can really use some of the drops, especially the skeletons, because I have a limited supply of bone meal. But it's not something that I was expecting to have to deal with right this moment. Maybe it's best if I don't do any building until daytime, because I was starting to build this platform out here so I can grow more trees, but that seems to be a problem. So I think I'm going to wait till daytime, let this guy burn. But, I mean, the nice thing is I got a couple of bones and some arrows from it, so I'll throw them in here because it's not something I'm going to use right now. So it's not a huge amount of trees, but at least it's 4 more trees over here, and I made sure to space them out so that way I don't really lose anything. And I like to do 3 spaces, so that way it's 3 spaces here. There's at least 3 spaces between the trees, so that way when they grow up, they can, you know, be a good-sized tree without losing too many leaves, because I do need the saplings. Now, it does look like this one's finished, and I want to try this golden Nixon. So I want to try it, but I think I'm going to use up at least the wooden crooks that I have first. And then we can see, you know, how much durability it has and things like that. So right now I just need some string. Okay, so not a huge amount of string, but I think it'll be enough. Hopefully. If not, I'll have to grow that tree and redo it again. So let's see. So I'm going to need a fishing rod, a bed, and an oak sieve. And I think the sieve is the most important. So let's start with that. Which means I'm going to need 2 meshes. Oh, I don't have enough for everything. I already know I don't have enough for everything. So at least we get the oak sieve, which is really going to help us out. And you know what? I think I'll just go ahead and put it over here. I don't have my... we're put it right there. That works. And so I needed that. I need a fishing pole. Fishing rod might be the next best thing to make. Just because, you know, worst case, while I'm waiting for other stuff, I can go ahead and fish a little bit in that little bit of water that I have. And then I'm going to need a bed, which I only have 2 wool, so I am going to need another tree for string. I don't want to use that one because it'll spread to the other ones. So I'll just go ahead and bone meal this one up and throw another silkworm in there. I don't have a lot of dirt. So maybe I should throw this barrel down. And while I'm thinking about it, because I am going to need food. Food's going to be a real problem here shortly. Because apples, it's only half of a nugget. Now it does give me that well-fed buff, so I've been trying to keep it topped off. So that way, you know, keeping that well-fed buff really helps when I'm doing stuff like mining or cutting down a tree. I want to make sure that, you know, if I can, I want to make sure that I have that well-fed buff. And while this looks nice and pretty, it's kind of hard to put stuff where I really want it. So I'm going to be taking some of this stuff and maybe moving it somewhere else. You know, I could always just put it right here. And because I want this to be covered, so I'm going to put the barrel right here, and I'll just go ahead and fill it up so that way I get a little bit more dirt. And I might as well go through this stuff, because I am going to need some stone, which I got right there, but I'm also going to need some seeds. All I got was a rubber tree seed. Well, back to collecting up stuff I go. Okay, so now I should have at least enough string to get this quest turned in, so let's go ahead and do that. And I was actually turning some of these saplings into more dirt, and that's just because I need a little more rocks. So let's... an acorn. That's just not... That's the same thing as giving me an oak sapling. It doesn't really help. And actually, just because it is kind of the same thing as giving me an oak sapling, I'm gonna break that and plant an acorn. So I at least get one of my saplings back. And I'll go ahead and start making another piece of dirt. So I at least have 5 trees going, and I should be able to now go ahead and make a bed, which I believe was the last thing that I needed. So let's see, let's go ahead and put the bed, let's put it right here. So I can sleep through the night now, which is at least a good thing. And if we look in our quest book, I should have 100% complete, and I think the first thing that I'm going to want, cotton would be nice to help me get string, but I think I'm going to go with carrots. Oh no. Oh, I have to make cobblestone. Well, that's easy enough, because I have plenty of stone now. So let's go ahead and make a whole bunch of cobblestone. And I'll do carrots. Ooh, it gave me a nice axe. Oh, I can definitely use that. I'll use up this one first. No, let's use that one. No, I'll hold on to this just in case spiders start spawning. So I at least now have some carrot seeds, which is good because I'm gonna need, well crap, I used up all my dirt. I'm gonna need some food. And I have 6 cobblestone, but what I can do with this 6 cobblestone is go ahead and make some slabs, and I can make a slab furnace. So it at least saves me a little bit of cobblestone right now. And I think just for right now, I'm going to put it down right here. And you can see I got a whole bunch of fish. Now, by itself, it only does half a nugget, just like the apples do. But if I go and I cook up, let's use a slab. And I'll throw a stick in there just to make sure that it goes all the way through. But if I go and cook the fish, then it should do a lot more. And I think that's pretty good. Let's go ahead and throw the fish in here, because I am getting really low on hunger. And the way that this map works, I'm going to save this dirt. The way that this map works is basically if you run out of hunger, you die. It's just plain and simple, you die. So we turned a morsel into a snack. Well, it's 1 nugget. That's at least better. Now, if I seem to be going a little bit faster in this series than I normally do, it's just because right now of the start. I mean, you guys have seen, well, I hope you've seen my Surg Skyblocks. And with my Surg Skyblocks, you know, obviously, I've done most of this before. I'm going to try to keep these episodes to about 20 minutes. It makes it easier for you guys to watch, if you don't have as much time. It also makes it easier for me to make them without getting too overwhelmed. And now I have at least a couple of torches. So once I get more dirt, I'll go ahead and put more dirt down. And at least with a couple of torches, I should be able to turn on F7 and see where stuff can spawn. Let's go ahead and throw one here. And stop myself from getting overwhelmed with enemies, especially since I don't really have any armor or anything. I mean, I have a nice axe, but I'd rather not use it if I don't have to. Oh, there's lots of places over there, so I'm going to have to make a whole bunch more torches. See? That right there. That is the reason that I need torches. Please do not blow up. Oh, yeah. I didn't even get any gunpowder. So I finished using that one stack of bone meal that I had and got a little bit more in the way of dirt. And so now I'm doing pretty good. And looks like the carrots are only about as good as the apples. But at least it's an easy food source. And you can see here, I'm getting well fed, which would be a good time to go cut down some trees. Unfortunately, I don't have any grown. Now, because of the fact that I do have this one rubber tree seed, I think I'm going to plant my rubber tree over here. And MFR rubber is just as good as IC2 rubber. I don't know if IC2's in this pack. Let's see. Nope, I don't see IC2. Okay, well, then I guess the Mine Factory Reloaded rubber is all there is. Now, I do want to cook up some more of these fish, but before I do, I didn't even notice that there was actually a quest for fishing. So I want to manually submit the fish, and let's go ahead and we'll get that reward bag, which is just another basic. Pearl oyster. What is a pearl oyster? What can I do with that? Beef and oyster pie. I guess that's it? I can't... Okay. I wonder if you can eat them. Can you cook them? Nope. Oh, I guess that's it. Beef and oyster pie. Between this episode and next, what I'm going to do is go ahead and tend to my trees and expand my farm a little bit, because I would like to have, more food going, so that way food is kind of an afterthought and I don't really have to worry about it. Oh, don't want to lose it. Everything on this island is precious. So I'm going to do that between this episode and next, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Go ahead and like it if you like the video. And with that, I will see you guys later.